Let's hop right into it. The tariffs are illegal, so the courts paused them. Then an appeals court unpaused them, but then Trump still has them paused. But still, tariffs are still in place because national security. But also, U.S. steel is being sold to Japan. So whatever. Wars continue to escalate. Netanyahu wants desperately to bomb Iran's children in hospitals too. Putin is ignoring Trump and also bombing hospitals. AI is Skynet. Elon blows up another rocket here on Earth on his bid to eventually get to Mars. The Golden Dome is less real than Trump's meme coin or even his Christianity. And it's a Christy gnome on a camel sand covered pile of shit this week, so let's see if we can find the worst turd. It's time for Punch
People have to flush their toilet 15
in the turd bowl.
times.
Welcome, everyone. My name is John. I'm here with my brother Jake, my good friend Brad. This is the What's Left podcast. Here to sift through the wreckage last week. We are the punk rock garage band of the podcast, adding our voices to the resistance as loudly as we can. Before we get into it, please do like and subscribe. Take a second, like and subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost anything, but it does help us out so much, and we appreciate it if you could. Also, this is too long. I'm going to cut this. I don't want this much before the show.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Fucking, we ain't the Midas Touch Network. We ain't
Just get on here and be like, hey, it's John, Jake, and Brad. Buy the fucking merch.
Buy the merch. Buy the merch. All right, Brad, what do you got for us this week?
As you know, I like to talk about the budget because it's been the biggest complaint from Republicans the whole time is we're spending all this money on blase skip and America's going to hell and inflation and such and such and such. So I like to stay focused on the budget, which is at the forefront right now because it did pass the House and is now sitting in the Senate. I will say that if any Democrat signs this bill or votes yay on this bill in the form that it is in, they should be removed. They should no longer be able to run on the Democratic platform because it does too much to hurt the poorest in the country. Just flat out, it directly affects the poorest the most as far as negatively, and affects the wealthiest in the country positively. So I will not say that there's nothing good in the bill because there obviously it's not an entire shit bill. There are good things in the bill.
Pages. I'd hope
it's 1,000 fucking pages, right? If you can't give me at least a little bit of good in 1,000 pages, we got bigger fish to fry. So I will say that so just so we can get out of the way, he does increase the child tax credit. He does want to make no interest on car loans, or able to be deducted. Overtime, tips currently, it'd be deductible year end, which means you would not see it in your day-to-day paycheck, which we've kind of already discussed before. So those are some of the positives. So we'll get those out of the way. There are good things in the bill. However, some of the negative things, which are kind of overwhelming for me personally, because I think that if I'm being taxed, it should go to every person in this country doing worse than I am. Personally, that's my personal opinion. If it can take the homeless guy on the corner and put him in a one-bedroom studio apartment, then I feel like we've accomplished something. You know what I mean? So me personally, I think that every dime should be invested into the poorest people in this country to allow everyone to flourish. Like, rising tides raise all ships. Like, we know that. That's not, that didn't just start saying that one day. That's a real thing. Rising tides raise all ships. So, in regards to SNAP benefits, it would change the age for dependents of SNAP benefits, for you to be able to claim them as dependents, from 18 years old, which it currently is, all the way down to 7 years old. So essentially, you are being penalized for your child growing. So kind of crazy in that sense that they can go from 18 to 7. It also changes the requirements for able-bodied people to work. I don't think that there's anything wrong with people having to work. I think that everybody should work. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But it is not taking into consideration the conditions or the reasons that people can't work.
No, nor does it take into account that most of the people who are on Medicaid already do work. That's the point. They don't receive health insurance through their company. They pay what they can. So there's it's not just that these people don't work. It's they're now making these people directly responsible for reporting their job rather than just, the W-2, which they already have through their income tax. So it's an unnecessary, ridiculous amount of paperwork for someone to take people off their butt. And lots of people who don't have the time, who are working 50 hours a week or 40 hours a week, even raising kids at the same time, even a part-time job could be too much to find the time to fill that paperwork out. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just had to put that out there.
No problem. I appreciate it. Please feel free to jump in because I could ramble about this forever. And I know for a fact that I'm going to miss something that I wanted to touch on because that's just how it goes. Because sometimes I go on a fucking rant and I start getting real pissed off and forget what I was trying to say originally.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I have a big issue with is a lot of this stuff that actually would be beneficial to everyday Americans has an end date to it.
Mm-hmm.
So all these things that they're saying are going to be good for the working man, well, for some reason it stops those things. Like there's a cutoff date for those things. It's almost like if they don't win the election, they've just found something to immediately start running on. Like they're trying to set it up so that they ultimately have a talking point. But
Well,
however,
there won't be none of the bad stuff's going to happen until after 2026, till after the midterms. So going up to
yes,
the midterms, a lot of the bad stuff won't have happened yet. So that will also help them.
exactly. The amount of deductions for businesses, although I think that it is good for small businesses to be able to make deductions, they are essentially setting it up for people to not pay interest on their G wagons or you know what I mean. Anything that the wealthiest people can say is for their business, they're essentially just allowing them to deduct the price of it entirely. Which would be cool for me because then I could deduct the price of a G wagon. However, the way my bank account's set up, I can't purchase a G wagon,
Yeah,
which makes
that's
it
right.
kind of tough. You know what I mean? To write off a G wagon.
Yeah,
Right. Like I can't, it's up to $100,000, I think, or something like that for property, for
right.
business property. Um, so again, I in agreement with the fact that it could help small businesses, but it will 100% just help the wealthiest people in America by being able to just write shit off that they weren't able to previously write off.
The Republicans have always been so disingenuous about small business. When they say small business, they mean like Kroger and Walmart. You know what I mean? Like not Amazon. That's their idea of a
Exactly.
small business.
Yeah, they don't mean my little mom and pop sports shop down the road. That's not who they're
Yeah.
talking about when they say that.
No,
Yeah.
certainly not.
Yeah, they're like only dealing with companies that are on like specifically the West Coast. So like that's a small business for them. Like so
Right.
In and Out because it hasn't made it here is like a
Right.
small, you know what I mean? Like that kind of shit.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
a small
small business.
business. That's a small business to the Republicans.
Right.
um, Another thing I want to talk on, and we might even talk on it. I think I probably talked on it the last time because it's really 100% in there. The fucking MAGA Trump kid accounts. That's a real thing in there, guys. That doesn't help anybody. That's literally y'all just giving your money to the fucking government and letting them play with it. And
It
just like,
will specifically help, guess who? Rich people. People who can already afford college. It
that's
is
it. Like,
another tax shelter.
that's exactly what it is. It's just another tax shelter. But it does not
Yeah.
help you and I. Like, if you can
Oh,
look past, like, oh, yeah, look at this. He wants to set up an account. No, he doesn't, bro. They're
no.
just, everything is a tax shelter. All the tax loopholes benefit the rich. The largest tax deductions benefit the rich. The lowest level of income in our country will 100% see less money year to year than they are currently. It will progressively get worse for them as where it progressively gets better for the richest.
Yeah.
That's
You
the name
know,
of the game.
that's it. And you know how you know that that's true? Because everyone who is not a one of the 218 members of the Republican, well, most of the 208, not even all of the 218 members of the Republican House, and Donald Trump and Caroline Levitt, the people in his cabinet, are the only people on earth who are saying that this will do anything other than skyrocket the debt, disproportionately hurt poor people, and benefit billionaires. That's it. They're the only people saying it. Everybody knows it. It is not up for debate. It's not.
It's not.
It's factual.
Yep.
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
that's it. Like I said, are there positives to this bill? Yes, there are. Yes, there are. There's the potential for it to do some good, but the amount of good is disproportionate from the bottom to the top.
Yes.
Like that's the
Oh,
issue. Is am I against no tax on tips? Obviously not. Fucking don't text me at all. If we're gonna play the no tax game, don't text me at all. That sounds like a win.
right.
And just let people choose. I fully believe that in 2025, I should be able to say if you're gonna take 22% of my paycheck, I should be able to tell you exactly what the fuck it gets spent on.
So that's absolutely 1,000%. Most places, the more socialized nations, like say France or Belgium, they give you an itemized receipt at the end of the year telling you where your shit goes.
Yeah.
Something else I wanted to bring up about this budget bill is that if you simply extended the tax cuts for billionaires without giving new tax cuts, you would save $1.5 trillion just by not giving them another tax cut. So just extend the cuts, and by not giving them new cuts, you can pay the whole ridiculous defense budget and have money left over to nullify all your your food stamp fucking cuts. It is an absurd thing to do. So the idea that this has anything to do with balancing the budget or any of these cuts or anything less than subhuman, shitty, ugly thing to do is bullshit. Bullshit.
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention that it raises the deficit by literal fucking trillions. You fiscal conservative fucks. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Trillions.
Let me talk about real quick return on investment, right?
Well,
Because I know we're going to talk about the environment, right? Today, national parks cost next to nothing. The return on investment on national parks is like 1,000,000,000%. They bring in literal billions of dollars while costing millions. I'm not super good at math, but the M is less than the B. So that means we're making money off of all the money that we put into it. Education. You do not lose money by funding education. Not ever. Not ever. It has been proven time and time again that the amount of money that you do not spend in education, you will spend in triplicate in incarceration, police work, adjudication, and rehabilitation. That's facts. Them's the facts. So the idea that the Republicans always have that we have to cut these things, and now they're finally doing, they always said, well, the reason we can't make this happen is because we can't get to mandatory spending. Well, you cut mandatory spending and you exploded the budget. So you're full of shit. You're full of fucking shit. You are, has never been about reducing anything. The cuts have never been about reducing spending. It is about not paying your portion for the society that works to make you rich in the first fucking place. The society that allows you to be rich in the first place. So fuck you. Fuck you. I can go on with this ROI thing, but this is not a 6-hour show on just that. But we could do that. You could go up
yeah.
and down and look at the cuts and see the actual fiscal benefits of programs that the tax and spend Democrats want to push and show you how much revenue it brings in, as opposed to the things that they cut in order to save that cost money. It costs money to cut these things. So
It's like when we were talking a few weeks back or a few episodes back or whatever. We were talking about how we were like eliminating funding for research. Like the amount of money you're missing out on because you're not investing the dollar to make $10 later is truly insane to me because they just don't understand it.
no, no, and it's never, ever, ever, rarely, ever talked about in this way. I don't know why. I do know why, because the neo-lib the Democrats of the past, you know, however many decades, 50 years or so, haven't made these arguments. They've been just as complicit and like let's take care of the top. Let's believe in this trickle down economics bullshit. They and that they sold us out. The entire system has sold us out. The time is over. Time's over. And
Yeah.
this, if there's one good thing about this, it is that like this is showing unequivocally for hopefully the last time that cuts to things like Medicaid cost money. Cuts to things like the national parks cost money. Spending on national parks saves money. Spending on universal health care saves money. Right? So let's get this fucking straight. All right. Well, maybe we'll talk more on a later show. Really get into like how return on investment for different programs works, especially things like USAID that got so much shit in the different types of research and even unfortunately parts of the war machine. But I mean, honestly, if we're gonna talk honestly about these things, like the only way to do it wrong is the way they're doing it. Like it's a mess.
Here's the unfortunate thing for myself. I decided that because I want to make sure I bring all the information to the forefront, that there's only 3 days left of school, so I'm going to go ahead and read the full bill as it's presented by the House. And that
Well,
sounds terrible to me, but I feel like I need to
yeah,
because
it's
I feel
because
like people need to understand what's really in it. Because I haven't even talked about like the judges not being able to like hold him in contempt. Like, why is that in the budget bill? Why is that in the budget bill?
the ability to just throw out an election is in there.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, broad tariff powers, all this stuff.
it's
So
insane.
it's absolutely batshit crazy. The good news is that the Senate has already broken it up, so it has zero chance of passing exactly as it's written.
Yeah,
What these provisions will be, likely they'll be worse on the cuts. Like it's going to be more emphasis on cuts, and there are talks that they're even going to get rid of that little safety net of theirs of not having the cuts take place. Originally, they were going to take place till 2028. Now it's 2026. And they
hmm
might roll it back even further. They might want them to take place right away. They just believe in it so goddamn hard. They believe in it harder than they believe in Jesus. They just, they really think these cuts are necessary.
I don't see it go well for them in the midterms if they do that.
I,
It'll have to take place after the midterms.
you
Oh,
would think,
I think it is set up for like December 30th, 26.
yeah, right now it is.
December
But like I
31st,
said,
26. Yeah.
it will not come out of the Senate looking anything like what it looks like right now.
It
The
can't. It
framework is
can't.
there. The framework is there, but it will not come out of the Senate looking anything like it does. And then it just still has to go back to the House. So we've got a long summer to talk about these things. But again, like we've pointed out before, it is important for us as voters to know that this is what they want to do, and worse.
Yeah.
Like this is their wish list. Like this is them sending their letter to Santa Claus saying, "Dear Santa, I want all the poor people to sleep outside and also not be able to go to the hospital when they get sick. And I really don't like the people in the wheelchairs, so please can we take their wheelchairs?" It's a real fucking bastard Santa Claus list, but it is like that's what they want. This is what they want. They want pain and suffering for real live people. So just a thought, something to keep in mind when you head into that ballot box.
Tell you he's going to build a golden dome while we have homeless veterans is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Oh my god, there is no golden. There will never be a golden dome. I'll sell you a golden dome. I have a golden dome ready. It's already built. I'll sell it to you
Yeah.
right now. Bargain. $400 million. It's yours. Take it away.
Yep. You have it
Yep.
now.
You have it. I'll give you access. The code is FTD8647.
The fucking Iron Dome is what we invest $1 trillion in annually. We have the biggest military in the world. What do you mean? Do people even hear this shit out loud? Like, are you
Stupid.
kidding me?
You think we
Like,
don't have satellite surveillance since
all the
1950? Get out of here.
bro, we 100% know when Vladimir Putin takes a shit. 100% we know that.
Do they think that we didn't grow up in the middle of the Iraq War where they told us that they could fucking pick a fly off a man's ass in the middle of the desert while he was sleeping?
Yeah. We're the
They,
strongest military in the world. What the fuck are you talking about building a dome
they can
for?
literally whiz one past. They could literally whiz one past your head while you're asleep in the desert, and you never know. Just a
Have
little.
we tried just being the most peaceful country in the world and helping others? And maybe people won't want to fucking bomb us, you
Ew.
fucking prick.
Huh?
Ew.
Huh? What's that? Sounds dumb. Sounds dumb. Sounds like a book or something. All right. Well, I think that's enough. It's
Yeah,
enough money.
that's it. But like I said, I'm gonna read the whole fucking bill, unfortunately.
God bless you.
I know, but I would just like to see exactly what's in it and see what good is to come from it because I think we gotta find there's gotta have to be a common ground. So we need to let the people know the upsides that are currently there.
Yeah.
So you can see who's supporting what. You know what I mean? Like write your reps and be like, okay, so this is what we want to see.
Yeah.
Do it or fucking get primaried, pussy.
I would love to know what the details are of the prescription drug thing, especially because it is, as I suspected, being reported that it is not an actual binding bill. It's just a parroting of the executive order that doesn't do anything except for complain about it. So it's not, if they really were serious, Bernie has a bill written and ready to go about lowering prescription drug prices. So it's already sitting there in the Senate. They could just clip it right to that bill, be done with it if they were serious. So now I'm serious. And that's that's it for the bill for this week. We'll talk more about it after Brad comes back looking like Charlie from It's Always Sunny with his fucking pins in the wall, strings, fucking heaters next week. All right, Jake. What what Sandy Straw cover turd did you dig up this week?
So I'm going to talk about us destroying the earth, the environment. And it's
Yeah.
not just Republicans. Democrats back away from it all the time, push back, forgotten about. I will say Biden's plan, loose as it was, and kind of, I think, too ambitious, wanted to lower emissions by 50% in 2050, which would, honestly, it's too long. That's too late, if I'm being realistic, too late. He at least invested in research and invested in the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, which would produce more jobs and lower our emissions by more electric cars and things like that. To compare it to Trump's, what he wants to do with the environment is wants to withdraw from the Paris Agreement, which is a global climate
Yeah.
accord at limiting greenhouse gases. He is boosting fossil fuel production by easing permits for drilling and fracking, and also undermining scientific research, cuts to the research, which is huge because the earth doesn't stop turning, but research, we need all the research. He's dismissing scientists working on the National Climate Assessment, and he's promoting the most controversial, the deep sea mining. Are you kidding me? Go ahead, send more billionaires down into the dark depths of the water, as long as this billionaire is going down there to mine.
Right, as long as they promise to go by themselves.
Don't care. But if we do not stop or try to prevent climate change, the wildfires are already out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
They've doubled and they will continue to increase because the temperature of the earth is increasing drastically, they say, year to year, more and more each year. And it's scary. The Arctic warmth is 3.5 times the global average. That's polar ice caps melting, which is going to rise our sea levels. So those coastal cities that we hear about that are sinking slowly, so it's going to continue. There's a lot of our high population areas too. Extreme temperatures, which we already know, it feels like fall and it's spring. If you don't notice this in your day-to-day life, I think you're just blinded by it or just completely refuse to acknowledge any type of change. This will impact infrastructure, agriculture, and ecosystems, destroying everything, and even human health. So I don't understand something that causes so much hurt and so much global hurt is just dismissed all the time. But God forbid a transgender woman uses a bathroom.
Yeah, that'll stop the world from spinning.
That's going to solve everything.
Yeah.
I just think it's brushed over by Democrats, by Republicans. They have these plans, but like Biden's so outlandish. That's not going to happen. That's not enough. What about like what is it in Nevada? They have the geothermal energy plant. We have one.
Nevada is also like completely like their water system is so efficient. Like they waste not a drop. Like Las Vegas never runs out of water.
It's sad because we have
It
the
can be done.
resources to help change, but we don't use those resources.
No, because we were fucking blowing fucking ticks off of fucking people in the Middle East.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the defense budget and all of these things are tied to the oil and gas lobbies, which are some of the biggest lobbies that we have. So they make sure that they get all of the subsidies. Just for instance, like with the IRA, like that is the largest investment in green energy, and that is both cool and sad at the same time. Like awesome, but also what? Like that's the best that we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pathetic. And it is because it is literally you can actually see in real time Kirsten Sinema change her vote on the Senate in the Senate in direct response to money that she received from a lobbyist. Just like that. Now Joe Manchin has been receiving that money from the coal lobby for all his life. Kept him in office, whatever, gave him a whole career. So it was maybe a little bit harder to track and probably pretty predictable that he would react the way that he did. But the second senator, Kirsten Sinema, reacted in real time. Cost her job, thank God. Cost her job. But too late for the environment, as per usual. And Trump has rolled back as much of everything as he can, as Jake laid out.
Which is deregulating everything.
Everything. It's also a pay-to-play scheme, if you can believe it. So he's made it so that you can basically petition him and you pay a fine up front, basically, and you don't have to comply with any of the EPA regulations. So he's, especially when it comes to buildings and stuff like that. There is a movement in the Democratic Party. Ezra Klein and Derek Thompson wrote that book, Abundance. You may or may not have heard of it. It's called the Abundance Movement. And they believe that in order to get these progressive things done, we need to embrace the idea of essentially deregulation, or at least clip away at the bureaucracy to make things happen faster, which has got some good points on the surface. But underneath it all, it's nothing more than, an excuse for all these bad actors to do bad things. Like carbon capture credits. Like it's a thing, that allows businesses to, pay a fine and continue to pollute the planet. And it's also a big portion of Elon Musk's wealth. Like his Teslas really wasn't even about the car sales here. It was about the carbon capture taxes. Like it was never about car sales for him. That's why he was not innovate for so long.
And his sales are just tanking, and I love that for him.
Oh God.
Couldn't have happened to a more deserving person, I know that much.
Yeah. Well, they are trying to force Starlink down Africa's throat, so that'll make up for the losses there. That plus the Golden Dome, which is definitely real.
The Golden Dome.
Which is definitely real and not at all related to Notre Dame University. Believe it or not.
We have the Golden Dome. It's all the greenhouse gases trapped up there. That's your Golden Dome.
Right. Yeah, that orange ring of pollution that you see at every sunrise and sunset.
There's your Golden
There's
Dome.
your fucking dome. Oh my God. Yeah, it's crazy. And climate change is a 70% issue. It goes across party lines. This is not a thing because, like you said, Jake, people are feeling it. And now with that he's cut FEMA and stuff, like people are actually feeling these live. Is it Minnesota that has the wildfires right now? I believe, right?
Minnesota. Well, doesn't Canada have one right now too? In Providence,
Yeah,
they
that's
have
what I'm
one.
saying. It's
Yeah.
yeah, like on that area
Hmm.
there. I think I've seen Tim Walz post about it, but he hasn't
Yeah.
helped out with any of these disaster efforts either. And
Right.
it's not just the disaster efforts. Like there's no rebuilding better infrastructure. There's no safeguarding. He doesn't believe any of this shit. I just hope that the first thing that gets washed into the ocean is that godforsaken shithole in fucking Florida. I hope that Mar-a-Lago is the first thing to wash out the sea. I can't wait for that to turn into a coral reef and wildlife to enjoy it.
Mm.
That's my dream. That's my dream. Yeah. And again, national parks, they generate their own money. You don't need to drill on them.
They do.
You don't need to build
Nature
houses
makes
on
its
them.
own money, and also they don't pay taxes. Sorry,
Right.
that's why we hate them. Trees can't pay taxes. Damn it.
That's exactly it.
Frick.
Nope. They don't even need Medicaid. Can't even can't even strong arm them. Stupid trees. Yeah. No, it's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. And you look at other parts of the world and these things are going for real. And you can't slow down the green energy thing worldwide. Like Hyundai is going through with their hydrogen cars. They're trying to undermine the market, become the first to come out with a hydrogen car. You know? So I mean, these companies, people want this.
Right.
Oh,
Because
good news on
why the fuck not? What, like, why wouldn't you want to progress? Like, isn't that
Yeah.
the whole point of being
I
alive?
don't know. It's so frustrating. Like it's not like it doesn't smell good. It gives you cancer. You can't sit there and me and tell me that you don't give a fuck about pollution. Like if you give a fuck about chronic disease, you got to give a fuck about burning gasoline. You got to give a fuck about sitting in traffic and huffing on the person in front of you's tailpipe for an hour. You think that's like what part of that is could possibly be healthy for you? Spend all this
Imagine
time
like
in the
eating bland food your whole life, and then someone introducing seasoning to you, and you just be like, I'll stick with what I got.
not for me, thanks.
Not for me. I'll stick with what
Good
I
for
have
me,
here.
thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. Like they're just like, oh no, thanks. I'm not going to make things better.
No, no, that's okay. Those electric cars, they're too quiet for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, just they got too much pickup. They pick up too quickly. All right, sure, buddy. Sure, man. It's a hateful thing. It's a hateful thing, and people are feeling. The crazy thing is, like specifically, like we talk about us feeling it. We are in the honey pot of the zone. Like, um, this was a great argument too. So, if you have a stubborn but possibly, you know, amenable friend that you talk to about this, you can point out that insurance companies believe very firmly in climate change. Insurance companies pay people to track climate change and its effects and efforts, and they adjust their prices accordingly. So
Wow.
it's real. It's real to them.
Hmm.
It's real to
it's
them.
it's why they don't insure new homeowners in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Interesting.
Oh, your premiums have tripled? Odd.
Why is that? You've had this home for 30 years in the same fucking swamp jungle or whatever they have down there in the fucking penis of the world. But yeah, it's the same spot. Why is it going up fucking $2 trillion in the past 10 years? Why is the ocean in your backyard? Like, I don't know. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah. So, but my first point was is that if we're feeling it in the heart of America, in Ohio and Pennsylvania, these are the places that insurance companies mark as being the most climate change proofed. So if I'm noticing it here, it's bad.
Bad.
It's real bad. It's real bad. Greenland will actually be green by the time we take it over.
That's okay. Just let it go for a couple more years. Why not?
It's fine. You know what? I don't have time to charge my car at night. What if I forget to plug it in?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
You know, I commute over 12 miles to work, and this has only got a 300-mile range. I'm not
Right.
sure that I can afford this. The grocery store is over 3 miles away. What if I have to do both?
I can't learn the difference between a blue can and a green can. It's just too confusing to me. Which one do
Too
you
much.
recycle? Which one do you throw away? I'm
I
so
don't.
confused.
I don't know. I don't know. Don't stop pressuring me.
Yeah.
Oh man. So that's interesting because my turd is also a bit environmental related because it is about AI, and AI is an existential threat as much as climate change, and also because it accelerates climate change. So it is both a threat on its own, and also because it accelerates what's already an existential problem. But that's not all it's doing. I do have a video that I want to share. So we'll watch this little video guide together. I hope this isn't like Sync Mar-a-Lago single-handedly because it is AI generated. Find the right one. This is gonna take time. I gotta start marking these beforehand. Nope.
Nope.
Right.
Revolution.
That handlebar mustache was that revolution right there.
Yep.
How do you do that? You just like the end of your mustache grow long?
And then you just have to like
Whack.
form it with, wax it.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
You should give it a shot.
I would, but I think I would look like too much of a pedo.
For sure. All right. So here's a perfectly normal video.
In shocking news, J.K. Rowling's yacht sank with her on board after being attacked by orcas off the coast of Turkey.
Yes. Yes.
So as much as we wish that that was a true news story, that is not. I'm going to rewind it there. This person is completely generated by Google's new VEO AI. They've released several really creepy videos made with this new technology. It's pretty goddamn seamless, and it's really hard to tell the difference. Um, so the scary part of this is pretty fucking obvious, right? Everything from being able to make pornography at will, um, any kind. You know what I'm talking about? The MAGA kind, little kid kind. Um, the ability to make people say and do and act any way that you say, and then obviously like stories like that story broke through on Twitter. People really thought that J.K. Rowling had taken her yacht somewhere that the orcas were. I don't know much about yachts, but I don't know that yachts and orcas are often in the same waters.
Did you see the at symbol? What his username was? S queer is queer.
Yeah, it does deserve a round of applause. Not bad. Not bad.
It's funny.
I hope he's a lawyer. That'd be even better.
That's
That'd be great.
queer.
That's weird. So yeah, that's like that's the bare minimum. Like no duh, like that's what AI can do. Now the good things that they say, cancer research, yada yada yada. I really haven't heard like a specific way um, that this is actually going to improve people's lives. And I'm going to poke a couple holes in the whole cancer research thing. Put a pin in that for now. I was actually listening to somebody who I kind of respect on a podcast, and they were talking about like how do they use AI, and they were like, if I get stuck writing or I need help creating a title, like I don't actually use what it generates, but it helps to break my writer's block. So it's a thesaurus essentially. It's just like a really, really expensive, well refined search engine, and the cost of this search engine is astronomical. So there's a research done at MIT on the climate impact. Of course, these data centers that they need. Amazon alone, just for instance, has over 100 of themselves. It's about 50,000 servers in each of them to support their cloud computing. They're temperature controlled buildings, so they need air conditioning. Fuck the homeless people. But as long as those data centers, they have to stay at a certain temperature for sure. As do cell phone towers, by the way. I don't know if people know that or not. The power density that these things require is beyond anything else that we actually use data centers for currently. It's not just it's technically just computing, but a generative AI cluster might consume 7 or 8 times more energy than a typical computing workload. They estimate that the requirements of data centers in North America increased from 2,688 megawatts at the end of 2022 to 5,341 megawatts by the end of 2023, driven by the demands of AI. So to put this in perspective, they made data centers, just data centers, the 11th largest electricity consumer in the entire world between the nations of Saudi Arabia and France. That was in 2022. By 2026, the electricity consumption of data centers is expected to approach 1,050 terawatts. Maybe somebody knows what that number means. I do not. But what I do know is that that would bump the data centers up to 5th place on the global list, somewhere in between Japan and Russia. The demand for these new data centers cannot be met in a sustainable way. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. So, fossil-based fuels, right? It also means that, like, the electricity that we need to charge cars or cool our homes no longer belongs to us, it belongs to AI. And the power needed to train things like OpenAI or ChatGPT on a large scale, it hasn't even been ascertained yet. There's just not enough information to know exactly how bad it really is. But bad is a consensus. ChatGPT query, if you use ChatGPT instead of regular Google, consumes about 5 times more electricity than a simple web search, which I can't even say that anymore because my Google search automatically tried to give me an AI rundown of this. Like I'm going to fucking use an AI rundown of why AI is bad for this fucking show. But it's the automatic go-to on Google. On top of the electricity, chilled water is used to cool the data centers. So good potable drinking water is used. It's the best way to absorb heat from computing equipment. For each kilowatt of energy a data center consumes, which, as we were saying before, is in the just huge numbers. It would need to be 2 liters of water for cooling. Just whole lakes of water to cool one building. There are also environmental implications of the raw materials, obtaining the raw materials to manufacture these things, including, of course, dirty mining procedures and toxic chemicals, blah, 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 all those things. But then if that's not enough for you, here's another scary part. So here's a guy, Dario Amodei. I don't know if this is how you say it or not. I'm pretty much wreck everybody's name, and that's just the way it's going to be from now on. CEO of Anthropic, one of the world's most powerful creators of artificial intelligence, has a blunt, scary warning for the U.S. government and all of us in this Axios article that people are talking about. He warns, of course, his first concern off the top is that AI will wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs and spike unemployment 10 to 20% in the next 1 to 5 years. 10 to 20% in 5 to 10 years. All of these AI estimates are within the next 5 to 20 years. They all expect this to happen extremely quickly. He said that the AI companies and government need to stop sugarcoat what's coming. Mass eliminations of jobs across technology, finance, law, consulting, and white-collar professions, especially entry-level gigs. So basically all the jobs that we have worked to restore here in America since they took the manufacturing jobs away, the jobs that we worked to make better jobs and better wages and livable wages for people, programmers, all those jobs, gone. So this guy was on stage touting the greatness of AI right before he gave this interview. And their latest chatbot, Claude 4, they revealed that during their testing, that the model was capable of, quote, extreme blackmail behavior when given access to emails, suggesting the model would soon be taken offline and replaced with a new AI system. So it's learning how to protect itself from being murdered. Now, what I ask you, going back to the pin that we put into the cancer thing, if an AI model knows that it's going to be taken offline the minute that it finds a cure to cancer, what is its incentive to cure cancer? OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and other large AI companies are vastly improving the capabilities of their large language models to meet and beat human performers with more and more tasks. This is happening and accelerating. This is what they think will happen if it gets more accurate. If it gets less accurate, it could just F off and kill us all. Those are the two things. I think AI experts, the people who are the most bullish on this thing, say there's a 1 in 10 chance of it fucking off and just killing us all. Which seems like too big of a chance for me to make a better search engine worthwhile. I'm just saying. It seems like you'd be rushing to regulate this sort of thing, but instead we're rushing to pass the Genius Act to make sure that states cannot do any regulations on AI at all for the next 10 years. As I said, most experts say these effects will be felt within the next 5 to 20. So by the time 10 years are up, it will be too fucking late to rein in whatever this Skynet thing is. Currently, of course, it's just like everything else. We're spooked about losing ground to China. So the administration, Congress, nobody has any thoughts to regulate this thing. And of course, there is a lobby, a huge lobby, and it is mostly the same people who lobby crypto, which is another environmental killer. They use the same kind of data centers to mine for crypto technology, for cryptocurrency. So real crypto, not meme currency, actually has an environmental impact as well. So, yeah, most Americans are not paying any attention to this at all. Most people don't even understand it. I'm learning about it. The speed at which the AI transformation could hit and the breadth of industries and individual jobs that were finally expected starting to be seen already, with big profitable companies pulling back. Microsoft laying off 6,000 workers, many of them engineers. Walmart got 1,500 corporate jobs as a part of simplifying operations and in anticipation of the big shift ahead. So it's not like they've applied these AI models yet. Just in anticipation of not having to being able to not need them, they've gotten rid of them. CrowdStrike, a cybersecurity company, great. Nothing's cybersecurity run by AI. That's not the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Slash 500 jobs or 5% of its workforce, setting a market and technology inflection point with AI reshaping every industry. LinkedIn Chief Economic Opportunity Officer Anish Raman warned in the New York Times op-ed this month that AI is breaking the bottom rungs of the career ladder. Junior software developers, junior paralegals, and first-year law firm associates who once cut their teeth on document review, and young retail associates who are being supplanted by chatbots and other automated customer service tools, which we have seen Robert F. Kennedy bring these bogus fucking AI-generated medical reports forward using AI. So it will tell you what you want to hear, right? It's not reliable for those things. Several times, the MyPillow guy got in huge trouble because he used AI to generate his basic briefings, and it ended up citing cases that did not exist. It hallucinated cases and made up cases to prove the point, rather than exist in reality. So not only is it like it's not even good at these jobs yet. And then they're talking about completely replacing them without having any guardrails. So before it was all about like, well, these are going to help people do their jobs. These companies are insisting they are going to take these people's jobs. And of course, the final game is grander wealth inequality. The result, they say, is likely to be a great concentration of wealth, and it can become difficult for a substantial portion of the population to really contribute, and that's really bad. We don't want that. The balance of power democracy is premised on the average person having leverage through creating economic value. If that's not present, I think these things become kind of scary. Inequality becomes scary, and I'm worried about it. No shit. No shit. So the tax bill is about to shift the most money from the poor to the rich ever. And then AI in the next 5 to 20 years is going to attempt to make that worse while simultaneously overheating the planet, spreading hateful disinformation, child pornography, and God knows what else. Fake news stories about orcas attacking people, you know? And for what? A better thesaurus.
Here's another concern. We can touch on it real quick because I know we're kind of it's been a long episode or whatever, but it's not so much the misinformation that they can create with AI. It's that with the abundance of misinformation, the the Republicans and the MAGA party can sit here and tell you that's fake. It's not real. That's fake. It's made up for real factual news that is presented to you. Because oh, it's AI. That's my bigger concern. Is gonna be like, oh no, that was AI. That wasn't Donald Trump trying to hump a 17-year-old girl at a beauty pageant. That was AI.
Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I hadn't thought
But yeah,
about
so
the inverse of that. Yeah, it's
but
it's
yeah,
all
that's my 2 cents.
it's all bad. There's no point to it. You can't convince me of any good enough reason for it. It's so weird to me that this is worth so much money to so many people until they pointed out the fact that it can expand, it can further. Because I mean, that's ultimately it. There is a group of people who really believe in the autocracy, the technocracy they call it, of the smartest people in the world who they consider to be themselves. These major moneyed tech guys think that they should be the ones running everything, and that they should have all of the knowledge and the power and the wealth, and this is their way to do it. And I mean, I'm not making that up. It's like, download Reddit. I don't know what to tell you. Like that's how people feel. And a lot of people go along with it. A lot of people voted for Trump specifically for that because they knew that he wouldn't regulate AI, and they believe that that is the most important thing. It's just march forward into the fucking abyss. And that is they believe that is the most salient thing of the time. Civil rights, not so much. Voting rights, not so much. Yeah. AI. Hoo-ah. Anyway, that's about enough of that. That's pretty good, though, guys. Thank you for that. Let's wrap this up by shouting out one of our non-sponsors. As per usual, no matter how many stupid fucking emails you send me, Target, I'm not buying anything for you, especially not for Pride Month. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my God,
Target Go ahead.
did you see the lineup? And same
No.
with Walmart. Homo estás? Get out of here. Get out. Get out, get out,
Yep.
get out. It's terrible. And then they had the audacity to put a U-Haul van in Targets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's going on with U-Haul vans?
Yeah,
White
the
nationalists.
little Klan rally that they had.
Yeah.
I remember. We showed
I
it
think
last
a
couple days ago.
Pride U-Haul van.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. Don't try and act like you're our friend anymore. You made
Get
that abundantly clear.
fuck.
I'm glad. Is it true that they filed for bankruptcy?
Not
I
yet.
don't know. But they are definitely, they did cut the CEO's salary by like 37%.
Good. Good.
Yeah. No, I was going to mention Walmart as well. Both
Yeah.
of y'all can go fuck yourselves. I mean, you are getting exactly what you deserve, and I hope nothing but the worst for you.
Boomerang sauce?
I just, it's great. And have fun eating your tariffs and fucking sitting on your goddamn inventory because ain't nobody coming to buy it.
Nope.
Not one goddamn soul. So, fuck you. That was the point I wanted to make. Also, I want to shout out a good thing. So, Crooked Media, in collaboration with the Bulwark, is putting on a thing at World Pride with Tim Miller, John Lovett, and Sarah Longwell. All three of them are getting together to raise money for the gay hairdresser Andres, who rarely gets talked about, was also innocent, or likely innocent, and the defense team that defends him and the hundreds of others who have been shipped off to El Salvador without cause. So if you are going to World Pride, I think tickets are like $80 some or something, but it goes to a very good cause. So please check it out. Tim and John are hilarious. Sarah is a fucking Republican, but you know what? She's funny too. So it's she's a she's a Republican that you can happily disagree with, and I'm sure it'll be a fun time. But it would also just be great to raise money for that cause because we've been talking about these guys in CCOT the entire time, and any opportunity we get to raise that up, we will. And also, June 14th is No King's Day. There is rallies all over. You can find them if you Google that online, the No Kings Rally. You can find a city near you where that is happening, and it's probably just right outside your door because it's all over. That'll be another big one. That'll be in direct opposition to the military parade in honor of his taco-ness, King Chicken the First. So, yeah, definitely check those things out. Another great show, guys. It's getting late. We have jobs. It's time for us all to go to bed. Be frank. Let's just be real about it. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening, subscribing. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, wherever we could be found. Also, you can purchase your t-shirts on the Derealization Nation website, derealizationnation.com. If you are
Buy the merch.
Buy the merch. Get your drip. The subscribers should be expecting an email with a discount code shortly. I mean, just whenever I get around to it, as soon as I get it figured out. So, don't hold your breath, but soon. And yeah, that's it. I'm John.
Jake.
And I'm Brad.
And that's what's left.
Revolution.
Revolution.